Good morning, YouTube. This is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I've just come to you to chit chat for a little while. It's coffees and camera time. All right, what I want to talk about today is editing and how you edit either your photos or your video, and particularly how I'm trying to deal with video editing. And I touched on it with the GoPro review because I'm trying to unload the video footage straight out of the camera without having to dismantle it, and a Mac won't allow it. But I had a comment by one of the viewers who said that his Windows 10 OS PC would allow him to USB-C them straight out of the camera without having to dismantle it. And that begs the question, why won't Apple allow it? Now, I've been using Apple MacBook Pros for quite a while now, probably on the order of close to 8 or 10 years. It's been a long time I've been using them, because back 8 or 10 years ago, the notebook computers that were PC based, they wouldn't last. I was having trouble with them failing, just one after the next, after the next, after the next. And I just got tired of them breaking down every 6 months. So we looked into a Mac and I bought one. We're still using it. It still works. I had to put a battery in it. The battery finally went bad in it. Of course, we're next to the airport now. Yep, still going over. I wonder if that's a Pratt & Whitney engine making all that whining noise, because it's a unique engine. Once I got into MacBooks, I realized how easy the user interface is with them. They're designed to be used. They're not really designed for the developer. Designed to make workflow easy. That's why you see a lot of YouTubers using Macs. It's not because they're Gucci, it's because they just work. Well, as of the last couple of years, Apple has taken this approach to removing all of the functionality from the computer, leaving you with a machine that just is a minimalist design, so that you can basically surf the internet and compose a document and email it, and that's. I saw a bird fly under my camper just now. I bet there's a nest going on under that staircase. But what it's doing is it's making the end user have to buy all these magical little adapters to couple in all of the things that they've been coupling in that was native ports on the computer. PCs still have all that functionality. What that's making me do is look very seriously at replacing my workflow area where I do my editing in the house, honestly, with a tower PC. Just to be honest with you, with a good strong graphics processing unit, a good strong GPU, and a plenty strong microprocessor and good fast RAM, a nice solid state drive or two in it, and them things are cooking with gas once you do those simple things. The Macs, it's like they're hobbling them on purpose. I don't know why. Is it because they want to sell you functionality? I don't get it. What I've learned is that a lot of software is written specifically for PC. I use SolidWorks in my business, and I have to actually lie to my Mac and tell it it's a PC on a partition on the drive so that SolidWorks will operate. I tell people my Office Mac has multiple personality disorder. It thinks I got dual monitors, and on one monitor it thinks it's a Mac, and on the other monitor it thinks it's a PC at the same time. It's kind of interesting. But I've grown weary of the lack of functionality. Like, I used to use Aperture for photo editing, and I loved that program. It worked great. But then they just quit supporting it, and it just went away. Literally, it just went away. You could keep it on the machine that you had it on, but when they came out with photos, I think my Aperture program disappeared, and I don't have it anymore, and I paid for that. So why don't I have the program I paid money for? I digress. But the point is that the world of the MacBook Pro as the king of the hill as far as editing and all that sort of thing, it's losing that luster. Ever since Steve Jobs passed on, it's like now that the new management team is taking that company in a different direction, and I don't like where they're going. I really haven't liked where they went with the iPhone. Removing the headphone socket was a big deal to me. A lot of people didn't care, but to me, I've had to buy a bunch of those little adapters just so I can plug in traditional headphones, so I don't have, because I don't like the Apple headphones. I like the kind with the little rubber socket that's like an earplug, and you can stick them in your ear canal a little bit and they won't fall out. Well, you can't get those from Apple. You can only get them from third party, and that forces me to buy the little adapters, and it's just frustrating. So I've also been looking at Android-based smartphones for when I upgrade this thing. It's reality. But what are y'all thoughts on your workflow? Like, I have to take like the footage out of the GoPro, run it through a card reader, pull it onto the hard drive. I use an external hard drive to store all my media. Pull it onto the hard drive, and then I edit in Davinci Resolve. That's my video editing software, and I still use Lightroom for my photos. I still like both of them, but I've never really gotten into, what is it, Premiere, I think is the Adobe video editing software. Never really fooled with it. I used to use iMovie, and iMovie's great, but it's so limiting. It doesn't take you long at all to run out of functionality. There's times when you want to stack more than 2 pieces of footage vertically on the little timeline, and what you wind up doing is going into another project, building your subset, bringing that in as a finished piece of footage and stacking it, and it just turns into a big headache. Davinci has so much built into it for free that it's a no-brainer. You just use it and it works. Now, I have to throttle back a bunch of like the resolution functionality. I run it like, the playback is run at quarter resolution, so I don't have to spend a bunch of energy through my microprocessor, my GPU, just to render it so that I can watch the footage as I'm scrubbing and all that. But once you export it, it's fine. As far as Lightroom goes, it's the standard. I think I'm using Classic is the one I like. So, but all of that works like it should. It's just that I don't know. I'm not as deep in the Apple camp as I used to be. What are y'all's thoughts on that? I know that this is like the Chevrolet and Ford kind of argument in the computer world, but it's a valid question. I mean, you're starting to see Apple strip away all the external functionality for a creator and leave them with a handful of little special wired connectors that they got to keep up with when it should be built into the computer. You know, you take them out of the machine and then sell them as accessories. You're selling them the computer twice. You know, the PCs, like, just to be honest with you, they're cheaper, they're more powerful, they have more functionality, the ports are still in them. I mean, I'm looking hard at them. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you like the channel, you know where the subscribe button is if you want to see more of it, and I appreciate it. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.